Some of the absolute best superhero episodes to ever happen on this channel only came about because lots of people in the comment sections kept suggesting that I try out some new topic that I'd never used before, sometimes that I'd never even heard of before. I mean, SCPs as Superheroes was one of the most popular series I did last year, and before last year I had no idea what SCPs even were. Now I have two very popular series based around them. So today it's time to try out another new heavily requested series. This time, Subnautica, a set of games full of really awesome sea monster designs. Today I'm specifically going to take some of the Leviathans from those games and turn them into superheroes. Well, superheroes, anti-heroes, villains, kind of a mix. You'll see what I mean in a sec. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's go. Hit like if you want, subscribe if you feel like, but either way, enjoy the show. Many countries of the world have their own laws for what superheroes in their regions can and cannot do. Of course, many times these rules aren't followed, as some heroes are rebellious vigilantes, and others even border on being villains themselves. But in the very least, a country's laws will keep the majority of heroes in check. In international waters, however, there are no such laws. There are many heroes, most of whom have aquatic-based powers, that have elected to live out their days in the open ocean, where they work as heroes with zero oversight or rules for how they must engage with those who have committed criminal activity. On many occasions, we at the Superhero Corrections and Placement Foundation have reached out to these heroes to try and help them find places where their powers may be most needed, or to urge them to reconsider their methods. But since their home is such a vast region in which many of them can traverse far easier than any normal human or vessel, we haven't even managed to commit most of them to our registry. One of these so-called heroes is Ghost Edge. Little is known about her origins, but it's theorized that she was born with her abilities and fled life on land to live in a terrain more suited to her biology and to avoid leering eyes of those who found her appearance to be unusual. Ghost Edge is 7 feet tall with a near Amazonian build. Her skin is blue and semi-transparent, constantly giving off a bioluminescent glow, which helps her traverse some of the deepest depths of the ocean with ease. Despite her form appearing somewhat like that of a jellyfish, even slightly resembling that of Hero Case 999, her body is actually incredibly dense and cannot even be punctured by bullets. Ghost Edge's primary weapons are blue fin-like protrusions that emit from her forearms. They border on being as hard as diamonds, and she can swing them with incredibly fast speed, even well underwater. When attacking ships, entering her territory that she deems worthy of assaulting, she'll use 4 tentacle-like appendages to help shoot her through the water like a rocket and slash straight through the hull to enter a ship from below, and to start it sinking. She'll then attack and apprehend the crew, generally avoiding killing anyone outright, but it's not rare for her to accidentally end a life while on the offensive. She leaves criminal crews to be arrested by authorities from wherever they committed their crimes that may be hunting them, but often the ships will sink before anyone can reach the crew, meaning that the entirety of the crew will end up deceased. Ghost Edge also has an explosively loud shriek that she uses to massively disorient her foes, and from a distance she'll often use it as a method of intimidation, as if anyone entering the waters she frequents has heard the stories of this hero, they'll likely have a cold chill running up their spine when they hear her call. Thus far, we have not been able to create a profile of the types of ships she'll attack, or where she gets her intel to determine who is worth assailing. She's gone after shark finners, ships dumping pollutants, but also some vessels who, upon investigation following attacks, seem to have no criminal or highly immoral involvement. This is why we've tried to make contact and register this apparent hero. Ghost Edge, along with the hero I'll discuss next, were the very reason our foundation created a task force specifically made to engage these heroes, a group we call Operation Altera. But even still, they've had little success determining what exactly drives Ghost Edge to do what she does. While Ghost Edge is high on our list of heroes to contact, she doesn't quite compare to the effort the Altera unit is putting into apprehending the man who is referred to by most as Ocean Reaper. He is strong, dangerous, and highly aggressive, with an even more erratic history of vessel attacks than Ghost Edge. He does not restrain himself to one specific location, and has been reported to attack ships and submarines on totally opposite sides of the planet. It's believed he himself has a submarine he lives and sleeps in, but we've as of yet been unable to prove this as true. It's presumed that he can't go as far into the depths of the ocean without a vehicle, as he does not have any light on his suit and does not have any bioluminescence. It's possible, however, that the visor he wears provides some form of extended underwater vision that we're simply unaware of. Unlike Ghost Edge, much of Ocean Reaper's powers seem to stem from technology, though he does appear to have the ability to breathe underwater, and it is assumed that some of the superhuman strength and speed, as well as his proven enhanced durability, stem from some inherent biological powers. His signature form of attack is to strike foes with the 4 mechanical crab-like legs that emit from his back. They've never been reported to be damaged, and he always goes for a kill shot once in range of an opponent. The Altera unit was once able to make it to a ship he was attacking, which provided some insight as to how we may arrest Ocean Reaper if the need does arise. One of the ship's crew had managed to slow Reaper down with a very unique weapon. It created an aura around him that temporarily paralyzed him. While he was frozen in place, the crew member was hacking away at him with a knife, but appeared to be having very little effect, even barely scratching through the exposed skin of his jaw. Eventually, the aura vanished, and he instantly killed the attacking crew member. While Ocean Reaper fled soon after, with some very unpleasant parting words towards the Altera unit members who were trying to converse with him, they were able to study the weapon used to hold him in place afterwards. It is now referred to as a stasis rifle. It's been enhanced by Altera members and replicated for all members to carry. Protocol now requires them to use these weapons on any of the heroes in international waters who have escaped registration, so we may finally gather the intel on them that we need to properly watch over the actions of the heroes and villains of our world. Contrary to Ocean Reaper's unpredictable appearances, some heroes have chosen to target crimes in a very specific territory, such as how Hero Case 3000 has deemed to focus his time in the Bay of Bengal in the Indian Ocean. A surprising number of aquatic heroes have deemed to focus their time on activity in and around the Arctic. Our leading theory as to why this is that heroes in this region can't spend all of their time underwater, as others such as Ghost Edge can, and have built homes on the Arctic land, still quite far from any First World authorities. One of these beings is another largely tech-based hero, Frost Shadow. She appears to have pulled inspiration for her persona from a type of fish called the Apteronitis albifrons, or the black ghost knifefish. She wears a largely black suit with a few glowing blue segments, along with a set of circular red lights running along her arms, legs, and the mechanical eel-like tail she's built to propel herself through the water. Shadow is one of the few aquatic-based heroes we've come across who cannot breathe underwater unassisted. She wears a rebreather she's fashioned to match her quite versatile suit. Not only does the suit stabilize her body temperature in icy waters, but it has a built-in sea drone that attaches to her arm to use as a shield or blunt force weapon, but can also fly off her and scout miles ahead, even shooting its own projectiles as she desires. She can also emit a glowing blue acid that can quickly melt through steel, but will also neutralize and dissipate quickly underwater so as to not harm other aquatic creatures. Shadow seems to be a hero with something to prove. She has only ever attacked ships on which the crew is well armed, leaving most polluting ships or other such vessels to other heroes in the region. While she isn't the most powerful of aquatic heroes, she seems to enjoy the challenge of facing largely hostile and dangerous opponents. Our Altera unit has managed to get close to her with their stasis rifles ready, but it was quickly apparent that she'd allowed them to do so. They fired upon her and she easily evaded, then struck out herself. Though it should be noted she clearly made an effort to not significantly injure members of the Altera unit, showing evidence that there is hope for her to be an upstanding member of the Foundation's registry in the future. The final pending hero I'll discuss today also focuses his attentions in the Arctic region, though he will spend much more time on land than the other heroes we've looked at today. You'd assume this would make him easier to get in contact with, but in fact he may be the most difficult yet thanks to his traversal abilities. Iceblade, whose name admittedly to me seems like a misnomer, is a lean younger hero with two superheated blades protruding from his forearms. He uses these weapons to instantly vaporize water and ice, making him able to move through any terrain in the Arctic with great ease. He wears a suit with many plate armor segments, suggesting he does not have significant inherent invulnerability, but we've heard no reports of him ever being injured. In fact, we've no reports of him ever even being hit. This may very well be a result of his MO, to predominantly commit surprise assaults. When tracking land-based foes, he'll often silently drill through the ice below them, springing up from beneath, incapacitating all in sight, then diving back down into the ice. When traversing the waters around the Arctic, he'll hold his blades out behind him and shoot streams of vaporized water to propel him forward, able to move at nearly 100 kilometers per hour. He's also proven to have some kind of radar that tells him when any movement is occurring along the ice above him for miles around. Whether this is an inherent ability or piece of technology built into the eyes or ears of his suit is also still an unknown. Regardless, this ability has made him very difficult to approach, as he can sense the Altera unit coming from a great distance away. The unit has attempted to lure out Iceblade with devices meant to thump against the ice and disorient his radar, but thus far this has proven to accomplish nothing. Iceblade has been so successfully evasive that failed missions to make contact with him have led to a reassessment of the Altera unit's value, seeing as how they've had such little success in getting us in contact with Iceblade and most other aquatic heroes who traverse the oceans of our world. I could go on, but the next hero on this list from this region who's evaded our registry is heavily theorized to have had his lobster-like armor built for him by a certain mech armor crafter that I've had a very unpleasant history with, so this is where we'll end things for today.
Okay, this was an absolute blast, and I definitely think it's one of my best superhero episodes. Which, by the way, I've made a new playlist that is specifically the superhero episodes that I consider to be my best superhero episodes. If you're new here and you want to see more superhero stuff, I recommend just checking out that playlist. I'll link it in the cards. Also, I've made a poster with all 4 of these characters on it. It'll be linked in the pinned comment and the description and all that kind of stuff. It's up on my online store, along with a whole bunch of other fun stuff. I'm also totally down to do another round of this. As usual, it depends how the video does and stuff like that, so you know, hitting the like button always helps with that. Boosts algorithm things and whatnot. I'd also totally be open to doing other things with Subnautica creatures as well, or turning other things into Subnautica creatures. Just give me all your ideas as usual in the comments. But besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or uplifting note. And the thought I want to leave people with today is the idea that sometimes to really see things clearly, you have to distance yourself from them. Life can get really busy and overwhelming, and it's really important to set aside time where you can just step back and kind of observe how your life is going and see if there's things that you can actively change to improve things, or if you're just happy with how things are going. I hope that's helpful to someone out there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next episode on Monday, which is the community redraw of vehicles as mech armors. Sharp and Vasilia are back, and maybe another guest as well. See you there. Goodbye.